Hi there, friends. How are you? This is Emily Craig, and it is Tuesday, January the 7th, 2020. And things are getting kind of tense in town, you notice? All right. Looking at the background of the problem with Iran. You know, I'm old enough to remember when Iran was kind of normal, okay? And the ladies in Iran dressed like women everywhere, okay? They didn't always dress themselves to look like bags of laundry. They didn't always cover themselves from head to foot as if God deemed that they were so disgraceful they needed to hide under a mound of material. And so I just watched a video by Bill Still in which he inserted a clip about Khomeini's behavior during the funeral of the general in question, in which Khomeini just totally flips out as a leader. He was not behaving in a respectful and rational way. That says something, okay? And then you look at the recent record of Iranian trespassing against America. In May of 2019, Iran attacked oil tankers in the Gulf. And then in June, they shot down a drone. And then in July, Iran seized a British oil tanker. And then in September, they attacked a Saudi oil company. And then in December, they stormed the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. And so their behavior has been aggressive, to say the least, okay? Wouldn't you agree that that's not the kind of behavior that wins friends and influences people? Okay, that's the truth of it. So I went back to my sources. You know, when there's a problem, I go to two things. One is holy law that talks about what we would call common laws of cause and effect and behaviors. And then the other thing I look at is intentions of Jesus Christ. But for this purpose, let's just look at the law as it was given to Moses about wars, okay? Because they were given laws about how to conduct wars that appears to have been lost in the shuffle. All right, so let's look at some of these laws and how they generally fall out. Now in Deuteronomy 3:22, 7:21, and 23, it says, "Those engaged in warfare shall not fear their enemies, nor be panic-stricken by them during battle." So wars exist, okay? Deuteronomy 22, "Anoint a special Kohen to speak to the soldiers in a war," a chaplain. Okay, next. Deuteronomy 20:10 and 23:7. "Always remember what an enemy can do when truth and vigilance fail." That's Deuteronomy 25:17. "In a conflict or dispute, always first offer terms of peace. But do not offer terms of peace to those who despise you, who are engaging war on you." Okay. "Drive out or execute any non-conforming or lawlessness breeding individuals out of Zion." That's Deuteronomy 20:16. "Do not destroy fruit trees wantonly or in warfare." That's Deuteronomy 20:19 through 20. "And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God ask of you but to fear the Lord your God and follow his ways exactly, to love and serve the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul, and keep these commandments and statutes which I enjoin on you today for your own good." That's Deuteronomy 10:12. So when he set before them all the Lord had ordered him to tell them, the people all answered together, everything the Lord has said, we will do. So the people of ancient Israel consented en masse and personally to the laws that they had been given with respect to war. All right, so who are we confronting here? We are confronting a caliphate. And the caliphate operates by imams from the Quran. And the Quran teaches behavior. Now, I've read to you the behavior of war in the Old Testament. The New Testament doesn't talk about war except in the sense of a spiritual war between the human soul, spirit, and the principalities and systems of Satan. All right. So what do the principalities and the leaders of satanic systems teach? We've been talking about this, remember? Okay. In the Quran, all right, you have taqiyya, jizya, and jihad. Taqiyya is deceit. Jizya is a protection tax, racketeering. And jihad is invasive conquest. All of which are unlawful under the laws of war I just read you. Okay. And also in the Quran, in Islam, the practice of suppressing and abusing women and girls and exploiting slavery are condoned. Now, I don't have the scriptures or the correct words for those practices, but they are there too. And so in going into a conflict against the caliphate, we're dealing with unlawful behavior, just as the general, and I don't have his name on the tip of my tongue, okay, was a man who was extremely brilliant and strategizing, and he conducted operations into this country and that country, into this faction and that faction, and he was busy causing trouble for a long, long time. Taking him out, I would compare to cutting off the head of a snake, because now those continual attacks will cease. Now, it's true, Iran doesn't like that we've taken out this general, and neither does the left, and the left doesn't like it because the left is being hamstrung in its ability to destroy the representative republic that we call the United States. The left is busy utilizing the Frankfurt School, the Kalergi Plan, the Cloward-Piven Plan, the Tavistock Plan, and the Marxist Plan to bankrupt and destroy civil governance so they can replace it with a top-down dictatorial dictatorship, which is the craziest idea I've ever heard. All right. So what President Trump has done makes sense. It's not pleasant, it's not nice, but even capital punishment is acceptable under holy law when the behavior of an individual or group is so out of control and so out of its own boundaries that it is literally threatening the lives and peace of the entire world. Something has to be done about it. I'm just glad that it was a surgical strike. It didn't do as Obama did and just send out drones and drones and drones and kill hundreds and thousands of people. Oh, and the left, of course, never said a word. Okay, the left, the Democratic Party today, They are a danger and a threat to civil governance in the United States and also in other countries. And we must be vigilant to call them down on their bad behavior and their very destructive methods. And that's how we can legitimately call them down, because their methods are sedition, their methods are libel and slander and treachery and deceit and double dealing and underhanded rule changing. Okay. We have the right as people who expect a civil governance to be able to operate in a civil manner to call down the people who want the governance to give advantages to people who don't deserve them, and to perpetuate those who want to destroy what the United States has been able to bring up and maintain. So that is my take on this assassination, and it seems to me to have been perfectly appropriate. And I hope that our military doesn't have to do too much more of that, but their method of surgical precision makes a lot of sense to me. Just my 2 cents. See you later.